Well, now, instead of saving your money in a bank, just lying idle there, so how about we offer some alternative? How about you put that money in something like a money market fund? Let's say you don't want to fix that money. Let's say you don't want to keep that money somewhere where it is being held. You want to put it somewhere where you can access it at any given moment, okay? On this video, I'm going to share two things or two alternatives. One, instead of having that money kept idle, saved idle, I said saving, idle in a bank, you can have it in a money market fund. And probably that bank that money where is or where it is, they actually have a money market fund. You only need to do a little bit of an effort on inquiring and opening that, and you're done. You have that, we call it a high yield account, because that account is not only money, not only that your money is idle, also it's being eaten away by the inflation. Number two, when you have it in that high yield account, you're not only savings, but at the same time, that money is actually making money for you. That's option number one. Option number two, instead of having that money, say, saved in a fixed deposit in a bank, because of course I do believe that most of the people, if they were to try their best, or if they were to try and be perceived as if they are saving or investing, they usually go for an alternative of a fixed bank or fixed account. Instead of doing a fixed account in a bank, and maybe probably you did not get a negotiated fixed account. By the way, I don't know whether you know this. There are two types of accounts. We have the normal fixed deposit account, and we have a negotiated fixed deposit account. And of course, the negotiated one comes with its own advantages. So instead of having that money fixed there, well, I know probably you're going to ask me, what are the disadvantages of having that money fixed in that particular account? Well, I'm going to share one. One is that you don't get good returns. I mean, when I say good returns, I mean like you're not really fully exploiting your money, subjecting your money to higher returns. Fixed deposit, see, they also invest in turn in other areas. So instead of having that money lying idle in a fixed deposit in a bank, so why don't you have it in a treasury bill? Why? Because treasury bills, for example, let's check on the nature of a fixed deposit in a bank. See, they tell you, hey, you can fix for 3 months, I think a minimum 3 months. You can fix for 6 months, you can fix for 1 year, you can fix for 2 years, whatever. You get what I'm saying? See, for fixed deposit, that is kind of a nature. So if you check on what you're getting in terms of the treasury bills, you get also to fix your money. And for example, you can go for treasury bills are actually divided into 3 categories. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Good Joseph, and I usually post a video each and every day pertaining investment. So stay put and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any good video out there whenever I post them. Now, this is what I'm talking about. See, instead of having your money lying idle in a bank, alternatively, you can have a money market fund. Okay. By the way, some countries call this money market fund mutual funds. Yeah, mutual funds. Okay. Now, or you can have it, say, in unit trusts. You can have it in unit trusts. Okay, because this one is a high yield account. Number two, it's actually a low risk. What does it mean? It means your capital preservation is assured. Are we together? Now, instead of having that money again, say in a fixed deposit account on an FDS, why don't you, an FDS account, let's call it an FDA, fixed deposit account, you can have that money in a treasury bill. Why am I saying that? If you compare the returns in a fixed deposit in Kenya right now, bearing in mind some of the areas where they invest this money is going down, you might actually not be shocked to find that they are giving you 6.5% per annum or per year. That's another word. But if you go the treasury bills way, this one they actually give you around 12%. That is precisely close to double what you're getting from a fixed deposit. And remember, this money has to be subjected to 15% deductions on the what? On the interest. Okay, on the interest. So that means this return might probably go all the way down to 4.5%. So if treasury bills where you go, 15% on the interest is deducted, then you find that this interest can actually go all the way to 10%. You see now the difference? See, I love to give you something about finances. What they do, they tell you, hey, you can fix your money. For how long do you want to fix your money? Let's say for 1 year. Okay. They take that money, they invest it in a treasury bill, they get the 12%. Once they get the 12%, of course, what does it mean? After the deductions and what have you, because even the banks do pay the taxes, they get at 10%. They get 10. And then out of the 10%, they give you the 4.5%. And guess how much they are remaining with? 5.5%. I mean, you're the one whose money is actually you're the one whose money that has been invested, but you're the one who is getting lesser return compared to them. You can just imagine that, okay? So they are getting 10%, you get your 4.5%, they get 5.5%. Even if you were to reverse this, you get 5.5% and they get 4.5%. At least that a little bit makes sense. Yeah, I understand they have made the structure and the systems to do that, but honestly speaking, I mean, for me, I don't think this one augurs well. So instead of having the fixed deposit, why don't you go the Treasury bills way? Why? Because probably or almost the nature of the fixed deposit that you're having there, you can actually get it from the Treasury bills. Why? We have the 91 days Treasury bills, 91 days Treasury bills, or in other words, you have a 3 months, okay? Number two, we have 182 days Treasury bills. In other words, we have the 6 months one. And then the last one, we usually have the 364 days or 1 year. What does it mean? The maximum period of time a Treasury bill can go is actually 1 year. So what does that tell you? You know very well, if you were to fix your money for for 91 days, that is after 3 months, you have your money back. When you fix your money for say 182 days or 6 months, after that period of time, you have your money back. So that simply tells you, you can actually use this route to actually invest. And guess what happens now? You're getting more returns. You're getting at 10%. That would be an amazing, amazing way to invest your money compared to having it fixed in a bank account. Again, for those people who do so, having that money just lying idle there, unless you're aiming a certain target, unless you're accumulating to reach a certain amount of money, unless also you are highly liquid, let's say maybe you're running a business or something of sort, probably yes, that you can channel towards a bank or transactional account where you can withdraw money at any given moment. But remember, I said if you're running a business, if you ask me, I would say just have 3 accounts with you. Allow me just to shed a little bit of light on that so that at least you may know what to be invested and what not to be invested. You know why I'm saying this? Because you find somebody running a business, they go open a Treasury bill and then they are putting that money meant for running the business in a Treasury bills and is fixed for 3 months. And then after some few days, a need arises. They have actually invested a sinking fund, a need arises, and they need that cash. What do? You start selling your Treasury bills on the secondary market. You're getting less money than what you had invested, or you put that money in a money market fund. Then the next minute you're withdrawing it. So you're really disturbing that account. That's why I said if you're running a business, I would propose that you have at least 3 accounts. And I know this video was not about the business, but let me just shed a little bit of light because I get to be asked this question a lot. First, I usually propose that you have a business account. A business account is basically where you put or keep that money that is spent to run the business. Okay, basically not really run the business. Let me not put it that way. Let's say a business account is that where, for example, if you come from Kenya, I mean, somebody buys it, probably we usually do pay with our phones and what have you. So when one pays, where does that money go? Goes there. And probably that is where you sum up all the cash that you get and after sales and what have you. Now that is the business account. Number 2 is the personal account. Personal account is basically where you keep that money that you pay yourself in that particular business. Let's say you make a profit of 5,000 in a day, for instance, and then 5,000 in a day, and I mean Kenyan shillings anyway. If you make that and maybe let's say usually pay yourself 2,000, you pay yourself 2,000 because say you have employed somebody, you pay your electricity bills, you pay your water, you pay your license, you pay your rent, you pay whatever. Let's say another one, now what goes there is probably 1,500 in a day. So see, this 2,000, usually put it in your personal account because this one is yours, is to run your own particular things. And then 1,500, I will let it remain in what? In the business account because it runs the business operations. And then the last account, this is what we call the development account. The development account is basically where you put the difference between how much you pay yourself and the operational cost of your business combined, subtract that from the 5,000. So 2,000 plus this one is 3,500. So you're remaining with 1,500. Now this is what we call the net profit. This is not your profit because people tend to say, hey, you know what, I make 5,000, that's my profit. No. deduct all those deductions, pay yourself, because you're also a liability in that particular business, pay yourself whatever is remaining. That is what we call the net profit. This is now where you put that 1,500. Now this 1,500 is what you put in areas like MMFs, okay, because this money is meant for development, okay. But now, if you take the money that you use to run the operations of the business, you put in a treasury bills or put in a money market fund, where obviously you cannot get almost instantly. You cannot withdraw now and you get it right now. See, what happens is that you invest the profit, you invest the interest. That investment is what actually, that money is not idle, it is growing, and you can also pump into the business for the purposes of growth. By the way, business usually grows with the development account, not really the personal one, and not that what you put in a business. Anyway, I'm going to make a whole video explaining that, but the point is, try to make sure that you channel your cash towards where you're getting far much better value compared to what you're getting in that idle account that is lying somewhere. So when you understand those nitty-gritties, can help you a lot to know, hey, where should you put your money? And by the way, guess what? I'm so glad that we're having a different things that are coming up in terms of the areas where we can invest. And that tells you that, hey, this is the high time. For example, I'm making this video a few days, before we clear off this to 2025. So how about you commit your money, not having it idle in a bank account? Let that money start working for you, because when the money starts working for you, that is when now you start winning the game. And when you start winning the game, that is the best. For example, if I may ask a very simple question, all the money that you have, say, in your savings, or whatever the place it is, if you were to invest all that cash and maybe get a return of at least 10% in a year, how much will it be making you in a month? So if that money that will be making you in a month, you realize is far much lower than what you get, say, in a month, probably if you're employed, then it tells you that you really need to do a lot towards, funding that particular account, funding that particular investment or investments, to raise it to a point whereby at least it's in equivalence to that what you're making in a month. And this is why people tend to struggle once they retire. Why? Because when they were active, their active income was high, their passive income was low, and they never did anything to raise their passive income. So once you retire, your active income becomes zero, and then you did nothing about the passive income, and then it means that you had a lifestyle and you have a lifestyle to fund. So what happens? You become, or you start struggling. So what you're supposed to do, as the active income becomes down or low, as you move towards being retired, then you're supposed to raise your passive income such that when this one is low, then this one is high, can be able to cater and cover your expenses that you are used to. So when you survive, or when you live in that kind of a nature, when you understand that, that will be the most important thing. So today's video was about only two investments. Instead of having that money lying idle in a bank, just have it in a money market fund. Two, if just want to go for the fixed deposit, go for the treasury bills. And please, as I finish this, if you want to go the treasury bills way, do not, or treasury bonds, do not use the bank to do that. Don't use any secondary broker to actually help you go for the treasury bills and treasury bonds. You can open this account by yourself directly through the primary market. Why? Because, hey, if you go the broker way, of course there are charges to pay, and of course you get that bill or bond at a higher rate compared to that what you've now gotten it at a slower or smaller rate. So that is it, guys, and let's keep put and let's do something as far as our investment is concerned. And we're waiting to see how great and how the 2025 it would be. And for God's sake, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscription button. This is the best time to do exactly that. Stay put, let's learn something. Just like an iron sharpens another iron, so do we learn from each other. If you need my services in one way or the other, my number, as always, it's on my particular, or in this particular description. Go pick it up. Let's talk business. Bye.